Hey guys, what's going on? You're watching The Process. In this episode, I interview Mr. Jamie Nudelman. Jamie is half health guru and half video editor. So this episode's a little different. It's a mixture of health, mindset, and creativity. Also, I'm using a new format for this episode where I'm going to be kind of narrating, going back and forth, almost escorting you through the interview. So, just going to keep this intro real quick. Here is Mr. Jamie Noodleman.
The whole experimentation process.
Oh, man. There we go.
Was that not recording?
No. Oh, shit. That's crazy. If you go like this,
Yeah.
your voice will sound like this. You hear it?
Yeah, it's like robotic.
Oh. But
That's cool.
your voice was recording, mine wasn't. That's fine. That's what you want. Trust me. Don't worry.
You have this going, so it's cool.
Yeah. I'm good.
You
Don't
have two
worry.
mics.
You're the focus. Like that happened to me once already, and it was only recording my voice, and I fucking shit myself. But as long as it's recording yours, we're good. Okay, so I'm going with a new format. I should look at you guys. I'm going with a new format, and I'm like experimenting with this mic, this body mic. I shouldn't have to hold it. I should just be able to. Yeah. Right. If I bring it down here, you can still hear me. I don't know what kind of audio this thing's gonna give me, but should be okay. So the new format is me talking to you guys like this, commentary on the interview kind of thing. So what just happened with the audio? Never gonna happen again. Such a big mistake to anybody who does this type of stuff, or get your audio together. All right. So with this format, I'm pretty much just gonna show you the good parts of the interview. It's Jamie Noodleman. He's not the typical creative that I usually go for. So this interview is a little bit of health. It's actually more health than it is about creativity. I don't know if this is good. Should it be up more? Maybe it should be here. Hey. All right, let's go back to the interview. I'll figure this out. So I just remembered I can't just go back to the interview. I got to explain to you guys. So basically, I asked him about the creative process. Not necessarily his, but just what people can do to get into like a creative flow. Because of his background, he's able to not only talk about what you need to do mentally, but health wise. So it's pretty interesting. Is that how I should do it? It's pretty interesting. And then like just fade back. Is that what I should do? I don't know. Experimenting. Oh man, I can't touch the thing. I touched it and it's annoying, right? Okay, I'll stop.
Thing, but the creative process, going back to that, I drew a lot when I was younger, and then I was always doing new things like paper airplanes. In high school, a lot of editing, and I was always fast, and even with gaming, I was always technical with keyboards and mice and macros, meaning, and that's more so just how can you be more efficient at gaming? How can you make two commands be one? Yeah. How can you save time and automate, making it just work for you? But with the creative process, I've always been that way, and when I went to YouTube and a lot of my video editing work now, I was always just inspired within here, the heart. And in most recent podcasts and shows like this I go on, I talk a lot about this guy because he's the one who inspires it. You know what I mean? Like we can't just create things because we have to. You have to feel like you need to, and that you're inspired within. Yeah. And I guess it's more of a want versus a need, because need means you're dependent. It's a wanting to do it. Yeah. But then in the situation where you need to do it for a project, then I found that I was never really wanting to do it. Yeah. And I fell off. But the health aspect, that ties in so much because video editors themselves, they either sit or they stand. The stand-up desk revolution's coming into play. But what a lot of people don't realize is that our feet get damaged by standing, and then when we sit, our hips get tight and our muscles become shortened, and then when we try to stand, our calves are tight and we can't walk properly, and then we have pain, lower back pain, neck pain, back pain. And that's when Mr. Good old chiropractor or physiotherapist waves at us, and we start handing them our wallet because, well, clearly we don't want to sit there and read books all the time. But
Yeah.
because I was a trainer for 5 years, and I still am to a certain degree. I like coaching people still. I just don't make it a full-time thing.
Yeah.
I learned how to correct these problems, and in a way, it's a lack of having the proper structural integrity to move. And some things as simple as walking could solve the problem, and walking as well can solve the creativity gap where you need to be creative.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you go for a walk, you get more endorphin fire after like 45 minutes, an hour. You might spend a lot more time moving and being outside, vitamin D from the sun, but then you come back and you feel really good, and then you're ready to go and be creative.
True.
And it's weird how that all ties together, because it's a bit of mindset, but a bit of health. When it's all under control and everything is firing properly, you're going to be able to be creative when you do your projects and your work.
Yeah. So that was him on, I guess, how you can break through any creative barriers. It was a little snippet of that. The next thing that we touch on is exactly why I call my YouTube channel Standardless Media, is because in the past I would let these very, very high, unrealistic standards stop me from doing anything. And I found that when I standard less, I did more media. You see what So basically, what we're going to talk about right now is why I call this YouTube channel Standardless Media, and how I go about things now. And that's the reason why I don't correct certain things that happen on the fly. I like to just let the mistakes show, and correct them on the way of everything. I've always found that if you just keep going, you'll just get better. But like if you get hung up on things, he talks about it. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jamie. Go ahead.
But we spoke on something about that, though. If we can shift to that for a second, where like you like that kind of mistake you mentioned once, you had a light showing here, like on the Facebook Live, you can see a light behind me.
Yeah.
That's not being shown on the camera, but you said once the camera was picking up a light. But
Yeah.
it's a matter of not freaking. Like, most people will freak out if they're not used to this, and they will get stuck and procrastinate and be a perfectionist, and that's a man-made syndrome.
Yeah.
It's a condition where you're too afraid to post something because you're afraid of it not being perfect to your standards.
Yeah.
But then it's like, if you just post it and move on, you're moving forward. You'll get 3 or 4 or 5 more podcasts out, and then you might attract someone who maybe is an influencer or someone who wants to buy a service from you, and then they'll actually, pay you to help them with something versus just being stuck.
This one I actually think is really important for creatives, because I think it's something that we do a lot. Like even right now, it's like 2 a.m. right now. But I'm just like going all in and like getting this thing done. I have another interview at 1 p.m. So I have to sleep. I have to prepare a little bit. But I'm doing this, and this is what I'm talking about. The whole focusing in on one thing, almost to our detriment. Yeah, just that's what he's talking about here. Figuring out how to do this. I gotta figure out how to throw to the next clip, and then I gotta maybe do a recap. Listen, I'm not ready for recaps. Okay, that's not happening right now. I'm not doing that. It's 2 a.m. Like I said. Okay, just getting through this.
So we just piece together. So yeah, I got all these guys at this fitness seminar I went to in New York. Because I didn't train for 2 weeks, I basically everyone there is all jacked and ripped, and they know what they're doing. But then it comes to business, and they don't have a clue. So I was looking at them like, man, I want those results on my body. There's some guys with big arms and big like 3D cap shoulders, like Greek god style. I'm like, I want that. And then they're like, I just want a sales funnel and a business that makes me money. And I'm like, yeah, I already got that, but I want the body now. It's like, it's funny how you can divert your focus on what you want and to get it, but then you put everything else on the back burner because of ego. And then you come back around, you're like, oh crap, I need to get that back on track. Oh, my diet fell off. Oh, I lost 3 clients, but I have this body now. But wait, so how do you balance? There's no, like, balancing things is almost impossible.
Yeah. I know so many creatives that are guilty of this. I can't act. This is my 3rd time doing this take, because I wasn't recording, and then the second time the mic was. It's ridiculous. I don't know. Just but in this clip, Jamie, he breaks down something that a lot of creators don't do, which is like the back end stuff, the social media stuff, just the SEO, like all that stuff. And I'm guilty of it too. I don't do it nearly as much as I should. I pretty much don't do it. I post on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and that's it. But there are a lot of creatives that if they did take the time to do that stuff or to learn that stuff or found someone to do that for them, they would be like on a whole different level. And I like the way that he broke everything down that he did. And I like the way that he put it. He said he's done all the pieces correctly. And that's a very important thing. That was good, right? Getting better. Getting better at this. Do a lot of stuff on YouTube. I don't know if you consider yourself a YouTuber quite yet.
I've never had YouTube success,
Okay.
but I've created content that looks good in terms of it has a thumbnail, good title. I've tried the SEO keyword searching to make sure it's hitting a good spot. It's not just like, because some people make videos and they're like, oh, this is my day in the vlog. Like, no one's going to search that and no one's going to find that. You have to use a title that is responding to something. That's why vlogging can be very tough, because a lot, like one of my clients is vlogging and he's like, the growth is so hard on YouTube. I'm like, yeah, because your titles don't work. You need to understand SEO. You have to go through this whole process of how to format your description. But the whole YouTube thing, I've never had success like having a huge channel, but I've done all the pieces correctly.
Yeah.
And it does make a big difference because everything looks better in terms of display, response. But again, it comes back to producing.
I really like the way that he breaks down, well, not breaks down, but the way that he thinks about haters as more like constructive criticism, and just the way he looks at it. That's why I chose this part, and I just like the part at the end how he talks about being exposed. I chose it also because it's like something that's hard for me to do. And also, I would say that this doesn't apply to trolls. Like, if you're getting trolled, fuck that troll. Fuck that troll. Fuck them. I like this. Kind of. I don't like holding this thing. But whatever. I'm gonna fit out. Don't worry. I'll figure it out. Just listen to this clip though. How to deal with haters.
I don't know. I don't get. It's hard because I've dissolved my ego in certain areas where I look at those comments and I'm like, cool, this person is upset. They don't like what I said. Okay, what went wrong? I look at it analytically, like logically, like what did they not like? How can I make it better next time? It's feedback.
Yeah.
In the past, because I was not able to love myself.
Yeah.
And be okay in my own spot, like internally, which is why we should meditate, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is the big problem with people. They look externally at the things they have versus inside. If you don't love yourself, those comments will bug you, and those comments will feed off you. It's almost narcissistic response in a sense, because maybe they're actually maybe you make a video and you say something that's really silly and you know it is, but then someone a so-called hater leaves a comment and it's not good to you, and like it bashes you. Maybe you need to be told that. Yeah. But if you can just look at it as critical feedback, criticism, you'll be cool. You'll be okay with it. You will build a harder shell. You can handle it. Instead of hiding in the turtle shell, you can come out. Yeah. Just like throw that shell away. Be exposed.
Oh, why did I choose this clip? Oh, I don't know.
2 weeks ago, and for me, when people send me hate messages, or certain individuals send me things, I know that, like, I turn on Facebook Messenger, I turn on the unseen app, which it's an extension where they can't tell if you looked at it.
You're welcome. Yeah. See, in this clip with what he's saying, I don't like it, but I do. And I don't like it in the sense of I don't like doing things in like a cookie cutter fashion. I feel like it makes it more contrived and just stuff like that. But if you're gonna marry art and business together, then those are the things that you have to do. You have to repurpose. You have to cut up your creation. You have to repurpose it. You have to you have to gear it towards certain things. Not always, and not sacrificing your vision, your artistic integrity, but just taking it again, just that back end stuff. So little torn with what he's saying because I like it a lot, but like I don't know if I do it because I don't like I don't like the cookie cutter stuff. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, I am all of a sudden doing a new format, and I might just keep doing that, and that would be kind of like a cookie cutter thing. It's a hard little balancing act when it comes to making your art and then getting it seen, because it's like making it is just so organic, but then getting it seen is like such a it's very forced. It has to be, unless you put it on the side of a building, right? Even then, that's forcing it.
We do like 20-minute videos every day, and I'm thinking, is that really productive?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what the videos are about, I guess.
They get small views, like 18 to 20. I'm like, well, your other videos get like 100. So you should probably do what, like, you should probably make the content that your views are showing on.
Yeah.
Almost reverse engineer that video and do it again.
True.
And then batch record a bunch and then automate that with an editor or do it yourself.
True.
You know what I mean?
See, I like that because I'm trying to work on like a workflow that's faster, like for this whole thing. And I like what you just said.
Like for this.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I used to edit my own podcast, man. I did a video on like I used OBS, I just recorded my screen basically for anyone wondering, and
Okay.
I had the audio, then I had in the video, and I used to do both, and I was like, and I had to upload it to my RSS feed for iTunes, and like, this is before I started using Anchor, which does it all for you, by the way. It's amazing.
Do they?
It auto populates on Google, Spotify, I believe, obviously iTunes.
It
I think Google Play.
populates on iTunes now?
It auto sends it out for approval.
Wow.
So you don't have to do anything. In a world where there's so many ways to do things, tutorials, learning curves,
Yeah.
like imagine if you want to build a website for your business, let's say you're making money, and you don't know how to do any web code or WordPress, or because WordPress is like used by 37% of websites,
Yeah.
something like that. Do you want to sit there and learn, or do you want to hire some guy off Upwork.com or Fiverr if you want to be cheaper to do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to do what you're good at, like your core, like your creative genius, like that zone inside of you where you flow, right? We talk about flow state,
Yeah.
where you feel in the zone. It's like tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Like when you edit, you feel it. Like when you're in the zone
Well, yeah.
editing this, right?
Yeah. When you're editing, especially.
But this, if you're cutting this up, think about it. This is like an hour-long podcast, hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Got the intro, the outro, the times we got up, the mistakes, the mic stuff we did there, and then that sound.
I don't think that'll come through.
Probably not. And then all these little snippets you got to cut out. But then imagine if you wanted to repurpose this, cut up every segment into like an hour podcast can be like 10 videos on different topics if you time the questions properly. Then you can put those on YouTube. Then you can make those Facebook ads. Then you can actually put that on a transcription service and put it on a blog. Then you have people going from a Facebook ad to an article to the actual video to the podcast, and they're like, whoa, that's 5 pieces of content from one, and you have 8 more to do. It's easier, right? Maybe I'm teaching you something here.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what this is about.
Yeah.
I wanted to learn about like health and stuff, but like this is
Oh, we can go there too.
no, this is great.
This I like a lot. These 4 pillars that he talks about, this little system that he has. I don't know if I would do it. I don't know if I can. I'm actually looking into it, but it was very interesting. It's very interesting. So here it is. I don't know. Listen, I would say the pillars. You'd think. I just watched it. Like I just watched him talk about it, but I don't know the pillars. It's alleviate something else, and automate. Take it away, Jamie.
So the system I made for these clients specifically was there's 4 pillars, and they all start with A. So it's the 4A pillar system. And basically you alleviate pain.
Okay.
Because when you start selling, you have pain, like you have gut health issue.
Yeah, definitely.
So so identify the pain. So my gut's sore. I got to work on this. I have to become aware of that. So become aware of all your problems and start working on the recovery process. So sleeping more, the basics, taking the right supplements, looking at what the next step is. And then from there, you'd work on your nutrition, and that would be appetite. Because if we eat too much, we gain weight. If we eat too much of the wrong foods, we have blood sugar problems. And if we continue that, our insulin changes, which is what regulates blood sugar from the carby foods we eat.
Mm-hmm.
And that is based on simple or complex. But not to go into detail, like if you eat like a donut, that's really like your blood sugar is going to spike. And if you have 10 of them, you're done. You're going to be on the floor. Just go to a buffet and you know what I mean, right?
Yeah,
it's too much food.
Right.
And then protein also spikes blood sugar, funny enough, which is why bodybuilders are so like their insulin's crazy because they have to take like IGF-1 to change their growth factor and all that stuff. It's insane.
Wow.
At the steroid boys, but again, I could be off on that. It's been so long since I've spoken about that. But then you work on nutrition, and then the next step would be action, where you work on how do you include physical activity. And it doesn't have to be weights. It could be walking, swimming, biking, snowboarding if you live in a snowy area all the time, you know. It doesn't matter. Do something that gets you active. Burn calories. Burn what you're eating. And then lose weight. Then with that, you feel really good. And then I realized that it was like a 3-pillar system, and I was like, well, no one ever gets this right because New Year's resolutioners go to a gym or anyone starting will fall off because they don't, number one, build habits.
Yeah.
Habits take time, as you know. It's like this. You're trying to build a habit of doing a podcast almost like 3, 4, 5 times a week.
Yeah.
If you stop, you'll be like, it's like meditation every day.
True.
Totally. And then repetition, which is the same thing. And then once you do enough of that repetition and you build a habit, then you have the 4th pillar, which is you automate the system. It's a system in itself.
Okay.
And because I worked with so many entrepreneurs in the digital space, like marketers, internet marketers, the sales page people, the landing pages, like those kind of guys, they would sit on their ass all day, and then basically they would literally not stop and do anything else. But they were used to that term automate, where they would automate a business. You automate your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because we know, like if you meditate and you work out and you eat right in the morning, have a smoothie or a bone broth or some the beef peptides, and you feel good, then you come here and you're actually talking right. You're not slurring or stuttering. I think that's a win.
Yeah. 100%.
So exactly, the system did that. When you automate a lifestyle, you win. So those 4 pillars are very crucial: the alleviate, the appetite, the action, and the automate.
This last clip was about how fast you can progress. When I first met Jamie, his posts were very basic, and now they're very, I use the word robust in the interview. Robust, is that how, I don't even know the word, and I used it. Robust. I don't know. I use that word. I don't think it's the right word though. But they're better. They're much better now. And it was in a very short time that he made them better. And I think a lot of people misunderestimate. That's not a word. Underestimate. I think a lot of people underestimate how long it takes them to do something. How long it takes them to improve in something. Just watch. I'm not. Just go ahead.
And people always say, like, I don't know what the heck you do, but you're always moving, so you're doing well. Yeah, and I'm like, of course, I'm not stopping. If you stop, you fail. Get comfortable, you fail.
Well, you know what I noticed? You're always progressing.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed, because you can't confuse movement for progress, right? But like you're always doing something like a little bit. Like I noticed, like as you're posting now, the posts are getting like more robust and like looking more like real like posts, and your video posts are getting better. Even from the first time we met and I checked out your videos to now, like they're getting better. Just you in general as you're speaking.
And that was in February, wasn't it? January.
Yeah,
it's been like 4 months.
Yeah, since I moved in here. Yeah, I think about January.
Yeah, 4 months. It's taken to really improve. So you can do it too. It's just a matter of just start.
All right, guys. That was the Jamie Nudelman interview. Since he wasn't the typical creative that I usually interview, I wanted to just test out this new format just to see how it goes. He considers himself quite the guinea pig when it comes to health and different stuff that he tries on himself. So I hope you don't mind that I tried this new format with your interview, Jamie. It was great, and I had a great time. And I'm gonna leave all his social medias and stuff in the description below. But Thanks so much, guys. This was the process. Peace.